Let me tell you a story about a journey to perfection, the art of sourcing your product. Imagine this: a sweltering Tuesday afternoon in a bustling market district somewhere in Guangzhou. The air is thick with a mingling of aromas of sizzling street food, industrial glue, and faintly acrid diesel fumes from passing lorries. Traders are shouting over one another in a cacophony of languages, the energy as chaotic as the tangle of wires overhead. You're not here for a leisurely browse or a snack, although the dumplings are very tempting. No, you're here for one reason: to find the factory that will bring your product to life. Welcome to the world of product sourcing. It's not glamorous. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted. But it's where the magic happens. So let me take you on that journey. Step 1. The hunt for the perfect factory. Finding the right factory is a bit like speed dating, but with fewer cocktails and way more spreadsheets. You've got your specifications in hand, your product dimensions, your materials, and oh so specific quirks that make your product unique. Our team doesn't just Google "factory near me" and call it a day. Oh no, we're on the ground, armed with years of experience, a network of trusted contacts, and more than a little caffeine. Picture us hopping between factories in industrial zones that smell faintly of warm resin and machine oil. We're running our fingers across sample materials, inspecting machinery, and chatting with factory bosses over very strong bitter tea. Sometimes it's a match made in heaven. And other times, well, let's just say we've learned to smile politely and decline the sample that looks a little bit like a bored toddler with a glue gun has made it. Step 2. Factory due diligence. Now this is a Sherlock Holmes moment. Now, let's be honest, finding a factory that looks good on the surface is one thing, but ensuring that they are the real deal, it's a totally different story. Before we even entertain the thought of working with a factory, we put on our metaphorical deerstalker hats and dive deep into our due diligence. Think of it as a comprehensive background check, but with more spreadsheets and fewer awkward phone calls. 1. Are they a good fit for you? Firstly, we evaluate whether the factory's capabilities align with your needs. Do they have experience with your type of product? Can they meet your desired quality standards without breaking a sweat or your budget? We don't just take their word for it. Oh no, we ask the hard questions. We visit their facilities and we examine their track record like a hawk eyeing its next meal. 2. Ethical practices. No sweatshops allowed. Let's face it, no one wants their product made in a dingy sweatshop by overworked, underpaid workers. We dig into their labor practices, ensuring that every ethical standard is met. Are the workers treated fairly? Are there safety measures in place? And do they have a decent breakout room? If a factory can't pass this test, it's an absolute no from us. 3. Financial stability. No disappearing act. Imagine this. Halfway through your production, the factory shuts its doors and your product is left in limbo. Nightmare, right? That's why we check their financials. We review their history, ensuring they're not drowning in debt, and make sure they're not likely to vanish into thin air. We don't just want a factory that's good today. We want a factory that'll be around tomorrow, next year, and beyond. 4. The gut check. Finally, there's the intangible bit. When we meet factory managers, do they seem trustworthy? Are they willing to collaborate? Do they approach challenges with solutions rather than excuses? Sometimes the gut feeling is just as important as the raw data. By the time we're done, we've built a complete picture of the factory, not just as a business, but as a potential partner. Only when everything checks out do we move on to the next step. Step 3. Pricing. Can they do it, and at what cost? Now that we've got a factory that looks like a promising partner, it's time to talk money. Here's where the rubber meets the road, or more accurately, where the spreadsheet meets the calculator. We sit down with the factory to discuss the million-dollar question. Can they produce your product at a cost that makes sense for you? 1. Balancing quality with cost. There's a delicate dance here. Sure, we could demand rock-bottom pricing, but that usually comes at the expense of quality or ethics, and we've already ruled out sweatshops. Instead, we negotiate fiercely on your behalf, but fairly, ensuring that we get the best value without sacrificing the standards that make your product exceptional. 2. Breaking down the numbers. We dive into the nitty-gritty of pricing. Material costs, production timelines, labor expenses, shipping estimates, it all goes into the mix. We compare quotes from multiple factories and cross-reference them against market benchmarks. We crunch the numbers until we are confident that we've got the best deal for you. 3. Transparency is key. Throughout this process, we keep you in the loop. No smoke and mirrors, no hidden fees. Just clear, honest communication about what it'll take to bring your product to life. 4. Can they scale? We are thinking ahead. When your product takes off, can the factory handle your larger orders without compromising on quality or cost? It's all about future-proofing your supply chain. When we've landed on the price that works for everyone, we shake hands or exchange emails. It is the digital age, after all, and we move on to the exciting next step, which is creating your first samples. Step 4. The sample dance. Once we've agreed on pricing and confirmed that the factory can deliver, it's time for the sample phase. This is where it gets real. We're talking prototypes, trial runs, and enough back and forth to rival a Wimbledon final. The first sample arrives, and it's not quite right. Maybe the stitching's a bit wonky, or the color isn't the exact shade of optimistic coral that you requested. This is where patience, persistence, and a touch of humor comes in. We send it back with detailed notes that will rival a university thesis and wait for round 2. By the time the perfect sample arrives, we're practically popping the champagne. Though, to be honest, it's probably a cup of coffee in the cafe next door. But you know what? It's worth it, because we've now got something tangible and something that screams quality and shouts, "This is it." Step 5. Production. The factory comes alive. Production day feels like the start of an epic race. The factory floor is buzzing with activity, the air thick with the rhythmic hum of machinery and the occasional shout from a supervisor. Workers are focused, their hands moving with practiced precision. This is where we're on high alert. We're not just sitting back with a cuppa, hoping for the best. No, we're here, checking every stage of the process. Is the stitching consistent? Does the finish meet the agreed standards? Does the product pass the "does this feel right in my hands" test? We're not afraid to spot check or call out our mistakes. At the same time, we're also human. So if someone offers us a steam bun from the factory canteen, we'll say yes. Step 6. External quality control. And now, for the part that's a little naughty, but a lot necessary. The random drop-in. Depending on whether you, our client, request it, we bring in a trusted third-party inspection company to keep everyone on their toes. These professionals are like secret shoppers. Only, instead of buying coffee and judging the barista's smile, they're armed with checklists, measuring tapes, and a no-nonsense attitude. What do? They show up unannounced at the factory. No warnings, no hints, just a knock on the door and a cheerful, "Morning, we're here to have a look." From there, they get stuck in. Every product is scrutinized. Stitching, edging, colors, materials, you name it. They'll even perform a drop test on the packaging, which is exactly what it sounds like. Dropping the box from a set height to see if the content survives. It's oddly satisfying in a slightly wicked way. Why do we do it? The goal isn't to catch anyone out, but ensures that everything remains up to standard, even when no one is looking. It's a little bit cheeky, yes, but it's also incredibly effective. Factories know these drop-ins can happen, so they're motivated to keep their A game at all times. The result? Peace of mind for you and an extra layer of assurance that your product is in perfect condition. We've developed an eye for detail that borders on obsessive. It's what sets a great agency apart from the rest. Step 7. Shipping. A global game of Tetris. Once everything has passed quality control, it's time for the final hurdle, getting your product from point A to point B without it looking like it's gone through a war zone. Shipping logistics is a world of its own, full of paperwork, container dimensions, customs regulations that seem designed to test your sanity. Our team knows the drill, though. We're packing your products like pros, ensuring that they're snug as a bug in a rug. The cargo ship sets sail, carrying your dream across the oceans. We track it every step of the way, biting our nails slightly less than we did before. We've done this a few times. Step 8. The grand arrival. Finally, the big day arrives. Your product is here, looking every bit as perfect as you envisioned. No dents, no scratches, no unpleasant surprises. We hand it over to you with a mixture of pride and relief, knowing we've done everything in our power to ensure this process is smooth, efficient, and, dare we say, enjoyable. Sure, there's been challenges along the way, but that's part of the charm. Because at the end of the day, we're not just sourcing products. We're creating stories, creating memories, and a partnership that's built to last. So, what's next? If this journey has sparked a vision for your next project, we're here to help. Whether you're dreaming of eco-friendly packaging, high-tech gadgets, or something completely out of left field, let's make it happen. Because at the heart of it all, we love a good challenge, and we'd love to tell your story next.